Is a video on how to roll out a slab.
But that's what he said. So the first thing is, when you're rolling out a slab, is you want to know about what size slab you want. So you got something in mind, and I have this in mind, that this is going to be a box that's going to be that big. So it tells me about the size of a slab I want. So I'm not going to roll out a slab huge, I'm going to keep it to about that size. So,
right. What about thickness?
What?
Size, what about thickness?
Right. If this is going to be a very small container like this size, I don't want to have a thickness that's 1/2 inch thick walls. That'd be kind of crazy.
It'd be too heavy.
Want it to be thinner. What?
It would be too heavy.
It would be too heavy?
And it would look weird.
Yeah, just too much. Unless, you know, there might be reasons you want it that thick, but probably not. If I'm going to make a great big thick slab container, I probably do want thicker walls. So you need to know what size your object's going to be, and you need to also calculate how thick you want the slab walls to be. Slabs, it's like going and getting pieces of wood to build something. They're just these great building blocks, and they start out being really moist, but then you can let them get firmer so you can construct things and keep them exactly like building an erector chair. Alright, so I'm doing this part, and I'm going to just I'm not going to try to roll out this whole bag of clay. I'm just going to look over there, I'm going to think, okay, I just want to have about this much clay to roll that out, right? Right? Now, there's many ways. Okay, for several weeks like that, but you make sure that there's some moisture in there, and you made it airtight, and you put it down on top of there. Okay, this little piece, there's several ways I can make a slab. I can just throw it out. I can take this and just throw this clay out this way and that way.
Well, when you throw it out, what are you doing? I don't understand.
Okay, so it's like a plane landing and slow-mo hitting here, and then it gets squished out that way. So I don't just pancake it so much.
Right.
As I throw it with an angle.
Try to drag it. You're dragging it.
Right. So there we go. So I'm going to do this.
Ooh, maybe we can play this in slow-mo. Do a couple more big slaps. Yeah.
Well, that's just fine. Now, if you want clay to be a very specific thickness, let's say I decided I wanted a very specific thickness, and I said, that's the thickness I want my clay to be, you can use not one stick, but 2 sticks. And you can put those like that. See how this is taller than that? So I got it close, and then I've got this my rolling pin nice and clean. Make sure it doesn't have a bunch of boogers and gooey stuff on there. Right? People will take a damp sponge and clean them off, but if it's too damp, it'll stick. So anyways.
Keep your rolling pin dry.
Keep your rolling pin dry.
See that clay squishing out?
See the moisture that comes off onto the canvas? All right.
So the sticks are a way to keep the clay from getting too thin. But you don't need to use the sticks. You can just roll out clay like you're rolling out cookie dough.
You see how that's rolling on top? Now it's really important, if you're doing this, that you don't accidentally roll it like this, because that's not going to work, is it?
Right.
Because this here is on top, but that isn't. So make sure that you're always hovering over both your sticks if you're using what they call guide sticks. And you can make these sticks or find something that is exactly what thickness you want. This is a pretty standard thickness used when making slabs. It's about 1/4 inch thick. And so...
Hey, show us one more technique, which would be to stick your block of clay down there and then cut it to the right thickness.
Okay, here's another way to roll out a slab, using also sticks, but just a variation. And instead of rolling out, what if this is a flat surface, completely flat. These sticks are both the thickness that I want.
Slam it down there, slam it hard. Yeah.
There we go. All right. And now.
So what are you doing? Let's look really close. Look at Mark's thumbs. They are right on the boards, and he's pulling that wire super tight, keeping it nice and taut. and he has basically just cut a slab to a uniform thickness.
And do you notice how these sticks came back and touched me so that
yeah, so they're kind of pushing up against him so that sticks don't slide. There you go. And then you've got a slab that is an even thickness.
Right
there. Just cut it. So
right.
That's another way to do it. Quickie way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's another variation. So
right.
Those are, however you can get the slab the way that you want it, the thickness that you want it to be. There's many ways to do it.
Pound it and then roll it. All right, slabbies. Slabby 101.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is go and look.
Wait, Mark. What do I do with my slabs after I've rolled them out? How do I manage them?
Oh, all right. So you've got these slabs, and you don't want to take your slab and go, whoa, because that just kind of ruins your slab, right? So what you want to do is make sure that your slabs you keep them in the state you want them to be until you're ready to use them. If you just put it on a board like this, perfect, but that means you're going to be using this pretty soon because it's ready to be used, and you might even be flipping it and putting it out in the sun and checking it and then flipping it again until it's just the way you want it.
Yeah, so maybe you want it to be leather hard, right? Maybe
right.
Slightly flexible but still pretty firm.
But if you want to freeze it like this, you want to say,
you got it where you want it.
Just like this.
I got it leather hard. I like it where it is. Then I'm going to
make sure that you have a piece of plastic, and this is where things like dry cleaning plastic come in good too. But all right, let's say you roll out your slabs, and then you're going to work tomorrow. So you've got all your slabs, but now you're going to go away and have a sandwich or something. You're not coming back for a while. You put this in here, and if you really want to make sure, you might get a water bottle and just go squirt, 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 right? Just a teeny bit of moisture in there. Make sure it's flush against the piece.
Yeah, so less air in there means less drying.
Right. If it's flush and
just tuck it in.
Airtight, tuck that in, and that is going to protect your slab for several days.
It won't last indefinitely because the dry board is actually going to suck moisture out of your clay.
Exactly.
But it'll last for a while.
But if you just put it in there and it's really loose like this, it's going to dry out because there's so much moisture in there, it's going to dry out.
Right.